Alright, you guys, let's put a breakpoint and understand how OpenAI API works. We are going to be taking a look at the Responses API, which is in replacement of the Chat Completions API. First thing you'll have to do is open up platform.openai.com and you'll have to create your API key. But make sure that you create your API key after you've purchased some credits. Otherwise, your API key will not work and you'll have to create a new API key again. So once you're on the website, click on your profile and then choose API key on the left pane. And as you can see, I've already created an API key, but you can go ahead and create a new secret key. Select a default project, that should be fine, and give all access. So once you have the API key set up, then you will have to add it to your environment variables. So in Mac, you can do that by putting it in your ZSHRC file. Let's take a look at the, Okay, so I already have the API key here, so you can paste your own API key here once you create it. Of course, I'm going to delete this API key after I'm done with this video, but this is where it should go. There's another way that you can do it. You can put it in your .env file in your Python project, and you can import it that way. I'll show you that pretty soon. So once you have that, you can go ahead and create a Python file. I already have some text in here, but let's not worry about that for now. So first thing you'll have to do is create a virtual environment. As you can see, I already have a virtual environment here, so I'm not going to create a new one. But if you do not know how to create a virtual environment, this is how you do it. You just put Python virtual environment and then the path you want to install your virtual environment in. In this case, I just want it to be in the same folder as my project, so I'm just gonna do dev-env, and then if I hit enter, you'll see a folder like I have here. The other way that I told you about, instead of ZSHRC, you can install the load.env. You can install the .env library and import load.env and use the following code to import the OpenAI API key. It should be available in the .env file, your OpenAPI key here. Since I have already put it in ZSHRC, I have the environment variable available anywhere in any terminal. Before you install anything, actually, you'll have to first activate your virtual environment, otherwise it'll install it globally, which you do not want. So to activate your virtual environment, you just do source and then put in the path of the activate script. So you'll know that the virtual environment is activated by seeing this venv on the left side. Once you have your virtual environment activated, then you can go ahead and install your different libraries. So in our case, we want to install OpenAI library. So pip reinstall OpenAI, and then it'll go ahead and install OpenAI library. So text generation is quite simple in OpenAI API. You can achieve it in actually two different ways. The first one is through chat completions, which is what I think I had it open before. If I go to docs, you can see the client.chat.completions.create. This is the older way of doing things. They're not deprecating this feature, but this is the new way of doing things is through Responses API. And that's what I'm showing you here with client.responses.create. Basically, it's the same thing. You'll get back the chat response, but it's through the different API. In the future, we'll look at different things like structured outputs, function calling, etc. And all of those I'll explain through the Responses API. Okay, so now let's take a look at how the code is working here. You can see I have created a client object here, and then I'm accessing the responses.create method. And you can see I have specified the GPT-4o model name, and I have specified two different roles in the input. So this is something new from OpenAI. So the user role is what the user is going to ask. So in our case, the content here is, hello, how are you? What can you do for me? And then we have the role of developer, which says talk like a pirate. Basically, the role of developer takes precedence over the role of whatever you put in the user. So now if I were to run this, it will actually talk like a pirate because that's what I have specified here. And here I'm specifying that the streaming should be set to true. Once we get the response, we loop through every event in that response. Before I explain what's going on here, I just want to run this and show you what the output looks like. I'm printing the event. So before, actually, I'm not going to print any of this. I'm just going to print the event for now. Assuming everything is set up correctly, you'll see this printed out. This is the event that we get back. Now I have printed out the event response here in a new file, but I just want to show you something in the documentation. So the responses API uses semantic events for streaming, and each event is typed with a predefined schema. So what are the predefined schemas? They are mentioned right here. In our case, we are looking specifically at the response text delta event. This event type has the property type which shows what type of event that is. So in our case, it's response dot output text dot delta. So that's what the code here is doing. So we are checking, okay, if the event dot type is response dot output text dot delta, then print event dot delta. And what is an event dot delta? You see the words here. So now if I run this, you'll see that it responds in a way a pirate would respond. So in the user now, if I say, don't talk like a pirate, if I say something like that, it'll still talk like a pirate because, as I said before, a developer takes precedence over user. I believe there's another role called system, which takes precedence over developer. You have these 3 different roles where you can specify how you want the model to respond back. All right, so that's going to be it for today. And I hope you liked this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.